Hello again, everybody. It is the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. We're joined by Dave Lackford again, attorney from Louisville. If you're from Louisville, or if you're ever in Louisville and you need an attorney, call Dave. One of the best. He might be booked up and have to direct you to somebody else, but he'll take good care of you. Dave, thanks for joining the show again.
Hey, good to be on again with you, buddy.
Hey. What were your thoughts on Saturday?
Well, luckily, I'm happy that everything went off with no violence. No one was hurt. Nobody went to the hospital. I don't even think anyone got arrested as far as I'm concerned. Maybe a few. My phone didn't ring. So yeah, good. I'm glad it went down like that. It kind of went down how I thought it would go down, where I said, it's kind of like a social media influencer show. For the most part, and what did you think about what you saw? Because I want to get your take on it first.
Okay.
Thing, but I didn't get to see
it. When the Angry Vikings group met up with the protesters at 6th and Jefferson in front of the courthouse, I thought things were going to go bad, and they didn't, and the rest of the day, I kept waiting for that one spark that would set things off, and it never came. And I'm so grateful it didn't.
I felt like the composition of that group was kind of like if you manifested a Pizzagate Facebook group into a bunch of armed dudes and marched them down the street. That's kind of what you got. I didn't see any real centralized leadership. I saw the Angry Viking there with his security team, which he was constantly flanked by. But when they first rolled up on the square and they saw the protesters out there, they started the back to blue chant, back to blue, back to blue. To me, is ridiculous because they've got riot gear, they've got tear gas, they've got all that non-lethal shit, and they got the National Guard, which is the real militia. I want to get into the militia stuff legally here in a minute, but the thing that really bothered me the most, and this is why you are, if you're in one of these groups and you go show up, you are by default a white nationalist, white supremacist. You can't go to a place where they're protesting the death of Breonna Taylor, who was an American citizen, killed extrajudicially in her home by state actors, and none of them have been arrested yet, okay? And only one of them has been fired, and then turn around and start screaming, Kyle Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse. That is diametrically opposed to the oppression that these black folks are feeling in their lives, right? So Jacob Blake gets killed, shot in the back and paralyzed by the police. This guy goes out to Kenosha. You guys know the background on that. And he kills 2 people. And he's in jail right now. And I'm telling you what, that militia defense they're trying isn't going to work, okay? And I'll get into that in a minute. Awesome. But if that's your hero, you better donate some money to his bail and get him out of there as fast as you can. Because once he gets extradited and he ends up going and he's charged as an adult and he goes to big boy prison, his asshole is going to get turned into an exit wound. Okay. And that's going to be your hero. All right. So that right there was just so incendiary to me. And that's when I thought, oh, it's going to jump off now, and I saw there was an old white guy out there with a big, long beard. He looked like, back in Pennsylvania, we got Quakers, Mennonites, the Amish, all those guys. And he looked like one of those dudes. He had, I wanted to call him Jebediah, And Miss Rosie goes up there. And she's got the bullhorn, and she's blasting in his face, and his whole beard is in her bullhorn. And she's just screaming on him. And he's laughing because it's so ridiculous,
Yeah.
But then there was another mix-up where another dude with the white nationalist group, that's what I'm going to call them. I'm not going to call them patriots because they're not patriots in my opinion. I'm sorry, you're not. You're there to stir trouble and incite violence against peaceful protesters in the square on a beautiful Saturday morning. That's what you did. So congratulations on that, man. But he sticks his microphone in this black dude's face, and the black dude hauls off and hits him. I thought stuff was going to get crazy there. But do you have the Maxwell thing queued up?
I do have the Maxwell thing queued up. I can't do a video of it. I'm not that technical. I'm sure there's some way I could do it on here, but I've got the audio queued up, and actually, that's the most important part of it. What you see in the video. But I'm going to post the video on the American Doofus page as soon as we get done here. But yeah, let me
play the audio.
Let me see. Come on.
I'll filibuster until you're ready.
Oh, so, here we go.
Before you speak, the black people here have been fighting a racial system for many, many years. Yana, I know you were here saying that black on black crime is not a statistic, but these people here feel oppressed heavily. And that's the thing. Because of miscommunication, in my opinion, you are being viewed to a certain percentage, I don't know, as an oppressor. And the thing about it is, if the oppressor comes to those who are oppressed, who are protesting oppression, that in itself is oppressive. And it'll come across the wrong way. So whatever you are about to say, just keep that in mind.
All right.
Maxwell Mitchell with the Angry Viking.
I mean, he knew. So what happened right before that is these skirmishes are breaking out because this was not an organized group. This did not look like a platoon. They were not formed up. They were not rank and file. They did not have their proper distancing.
They weren't what I thought they were going to be.
Like I said, they were formed up out of a Pizzagate Facebook group. They were all separated. People were breaking their lines. They didn't even have any lines to break. They were on the sidewalk, right? So in contrast to the organization at NFAC, you can't say shit ever again. You can't talk about somebody dropping a shotgun. You can't say a damn thing because they were organized like when Malcolm went to go get Brother Johnson out of the jail cell. Left face, march. Those dudes are spot on. They might not be perfect. They're not. It's not a graduating class from Paris Island marching across the parade deck, but it's damn well more organized than that cluster. You know what I saw out there. So the lines are getting broken. Little skirmishes are happening, and Maxwell's chasing Viking around like, you got to de-escalate this. You got to de-escalate this. And so he grabs the microphone, or grabs the bullhorn, and Maxwell's an astute dude. Maxwell is a diplomat. He knows how to speak to everyone because he speaks with respect and he speaks with knowledge. So when someone approaches you like that, and he's big, he towers over people, right? So there's that, right? So when he speaks, people listen. There's a gravity to what he says. And I think that really hit Viking hard. And if you ever watch a fight, right, you go watch a fight, you see a couple blows get thrown, you see a jab here, you see a body blow. You don't really know which blow really hurt the boxer the most, but because they're cumulative. But there's always that one good shot that really, you start being defensive of that area because you know you're wounded, right? I think that wounded that man's psyche because he said, damn, these people are out here protesting a long history of oppression in this city. And here you come talking about black on black crime, and you're white, and you're out here with all these guns, and you got them all riled up. And if you get on that microphone and you start talking about black on black crime and telling black people how to live their life and telling that, oh, you're not really oppressed, this is just a media thing, and telling black people how to feel, all these people want is dignity in their lives and to feel safe in their day-to-day things, and not have to tell their black kid, as soon as you get pulled over, stick your hands out the window and don't make any moves and blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like you live in the back of your head, that's what's going on out here. This is what they're telling people. And they're like, you're a criminal, you deserve to get shot. You shouldn't have had a warrant for child support. You know what I mean? And so they always shout down the voices of the oppressed. And that's what Maxwell was saying. If you come out here talking black on black crime and things of that nature at a protest for people who feel oppressed, you become an oppressor, and your words are oppressive because you're trying to shut them down and tell them there's nothing to see here, go home. And you ain't even from here. So I think that went through that man's head, because I'll give the man credit for this. He came out there to start some shit, all right? He went out there to look for impact, and we'll get on that in a second. But when Maxwell and other people started speaking to him, you could see the gears turning. Now, was that some kind of cognitive awareness? Was that some kind of social justice awakening in that man? No. I don't give him the credit for that, all right? You ain't going to stop being a white supremacist just because of that. And I heard the man talk, and all of his rhetoric is the same old dismissive, if you don't like it, get out type bullshit, right? So I'm not trying to hear what he's got to say as far as anyone's trying to say is this dude has some kind of social justice awakening. I'm not giving him that.
Okay.
What I saw was a dude out there in the state where he knew there's no active, he is not a militia in the state of Kentucky. We have the National Guard here. Okay, first of all, the governor controls the militia in Kentucky, all right? Section 75 of the Kentucky Constitution breaks down Section 219 to 223 under the Section 7. That breaks down everything, deals with a militia. And the General Assembly is the one who appoints the officers. And the General Assembly is the one the governor is the one who's in control of it, okay? Unless the federal government calls up the state militia to repel foreign invasion or something like that, right? None of these people are sanctioned by the government. They're just a mob of people with guns and body armor, okay? And in Kentucky, if you catch a felony with body armor on, that is an aggravator that pushes any like D felony up to a C to a B to an A. So one of those idiots in body armor fires a shot in anger and misses everybody, hits the ground, that wanton endangerment gets bumped up to a C felony. Now he's looking at 5 to 10 years, right? And I'm pretty sure this dude knows that's going on in his mind, okay? He's got to know that. And he's in charge of that because he's on damn social media organizing the whole thing. So now you are the one that incited that riot, all right? So he's looking at mad time because he was body played it out, right? So that's what that was. That's why he got scared. That's when he started thinking, oh shit. And then everybody says, oh, he de-escalated it. No, he didn't. He took his security team and walked down by freaking Jimmy John's, which is a block away from where everything was happening. He's talking to all the live streamers. Tara Bassett said a great thing to him. He said, I like to have this dialogue, blah, blah, this is good. And she said, yeah, we'd appreciated having this before you came out here with all these people with guns, but next time, let us know something, right?
Yeah. Tara, you got to love Tara Bassett.
Yeah, she's great. She ain't scared of nothing, man. She got an interview with Grandmaster Jay. But anyway, so they're all separated. And so he's talking to these people, and Maxwell's constantly like telling them, look at your people way back there. So there's only like 15 of that group, and they're all still back there past the dump trucks that had everything blocked off on 5th Street. Okay. So he didn't de-escalate anything. He left with the cameras. And so he had to walk back and get them again. Then it was just a motley crew. Some of them were still beefing with people, yelling at each other, and it's people going back and forth yelling. And people say it was constructive conversation. And no, it wasn't. It was just people standing there waiting for them to get their turn to yell their point. That's all that was. There wasn't no real dialogue going on out there. That's bullshit. But anyway, so they still aren't grouped up yet. The police come and they pop smoke. They pop red smoke. Now, everybody's like, oh, they were laughing. They don't know what that's for. That's for an X still, all right? That means when you're in a situation that's treacherous or dangerous and you immediately need to get out of Dodge, you pop that smoke so, a helicopter can come pick you up, or it's a rallying point so everybody can get there and get out of town, right? So they pop smoke to get out of there, right? So the 250, 300, 200, whatever, armed militiamen, or as I call them, white nationalists, they got chased out of the square by Miss Rosie. And there was a few armed people out there. I think Pharaoh's Guard was out there with the purple on. And I saw some Antifa out there, actually. It was the same Antifa people that were down in, I want to say, Georgia last month that kind of just tore that whole thing up, too. They snatched their rebel flag and burned it. But anyway, that's not here nor there. So that's what I saw from the Angry Viking. I'm not giving this dude a Nobel Peace Prize or anything like that out here, because him and his sloppy ass group of morons with guns came out there and got chased off and separated, had their lines broken, didn't even form any lines. You know what I mean? That was garbage.
It wasn't what I expected, when I heard white militia or heard militia, because some of them get upset with me calling them white because there were various shades of colors in amongst their ranks. But at any rate,
racism not racist, man. That's a book.
To me, it just looked like a bunch of guys off the internet showing up. And I was expecting, because I hear they train and they, this and that, and it sure didn't look like that to me. And as you said, and I said it, the NFAC, as far as them coming down and showing the NFAC how to do it, no, that didn't happen.
No, not at all. And they didn't even know where they were going. They formed up at Cox Park. They said they were there when they arrived at out front of the city hall there. Oh, and they were like, we're here to protect the courthouse. And then one of the live streamers was like, can you point to the courthouse? And he pointed to the wrong building. Angry Biker pointed to the wrong building. But they were at the steps where Grandmaster Jay said, we're going to burn this motherfucker down.
Right.
And so a lot of the local people around here keep talking about, well, you said you were going to burn it down and you didn't do nothing. We were all excited and motivated. You were excited and motivated that they were going to come back and burn it down. Also, if you're out there protesting, you've been saying burn this motherfucker down for the last 103 days, okay? And you know that that's just an analogy. You're talking about the system. It's a metaphor. Why do you think that's literal when he says it? You understand? And when the Louisville 87 came through and they were charged with felonies, the basis for charging them with intimidating a legal participant was because someone heard them say, we're going to burn it down. Well, guess what? All those charges got dismissed. Shout out to Mike O'Connell's office, because they knew that there wasn't probable cause for that. And they dismissed it with prejudice. No stipulation of probable cause either. So we can see them on the civil side possibly, but that's not here nor there. What I'm trying to say is these people came out there saying that they were looking for NFAC. What were you going to do? What were you going to shoot at them? You were going to engage in a fucking firefight in the middle of my city, downtown, but you're there to protect people and property? That's the dumbest logic I've ever heard, because you people are emotional and reactionary. And that's one of the problems I have with NFAC coming here ever again, because now you're going to be attracting these reactionary Facebook groups with guns to come out here and stir shit up. Now people are like, why didn't they come down and protect us there? You did not want NFAC coming down there to protect y'all, because it would have just escalated the violence and it would have been 10 times worse. And they were like, where were the cops? Here's what I'll say about the where were the cops thing. When NFAC showed up, they had freaking snipers on the roof. They had cops everywhere. They had all kind of partitions set up so the groups couldn't interact with one another, all that stuff. There wasn't one cop out there for the first 25, 30 minutes, and they didn't show up until after the thing had already been de-escalated, right? So, I mean, you want to talk about equal protection under the law, you want to talk about similarly situated individuals. I mean, that's egregious to me. Like, what are you doing? What is the mayor doing? How do we have this shit happening in a United States city? And you're the mayor of the mayors. You're the United States, whatever that group is of all the mayors in the country. He's the president of that. Man, he hit the, tell your story walking, man. For real, I can't, this dude is inept, and he's been getting people hurt. Stupid. It's terrible leadership in this city. It's a damn joke, man. The boards are still all up on the windows downtown. It's just amazing to me. Now, what did you think about what happened with NFAC?
With them, what do you mean, pulling out?
Whole situation, yeah.
I thought that they made a strong show of force. I thought it was a strong public relations move. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a strong recruiting tool. Mm-hmm. I did not see any advancement towards any justice for Breonna Taylor, in all honesty.
Well, here's what people want. This is the microwave generation. This is the show me, like this is Missouri or something, right? What people don't get is this. So I saw Matthew Ballard talking about it today, and he was the one saying, you know, we were excited. We thought you were really going to come down here and do something big. And I said that on the last time I was on here. Do you really think that they're going to charge Breonna Taylor because 100, 200, 300 dudes with guns come down to the no, they shut down the Derby. But they shut down the Derby. That's hundreds of millions of dollars. That's $10 million in mint juleps and Kentucky mules alone that they lost, the state lost, or whoever runs the damn racetrack. They hit them in the pocket. Now, here's the problem. Everybody thinks about tactics, right? Tactics are, oh, look how I marched down this street. Look how I formed up. Look how Antifa has tactics, right? Antifa's tactics are show up on the first couple nights and cause chaos, burn shit, break shit, you know, get in fights with people. That's their tactic, right? But there's 3 levels of war, all right? You got tactical, you got operational, and you got strategy, You understand? Tactical is what I just said. That's basically maneuvering a small group of troops on a battlefield or an environment, whatever have you, right? Operational, that is when you integrate several military campaigns into a theater of war, right? So World War II was operational when you had D-Day over there, all these things, Okinawa, everything going on. That is a bunch of tactics within the theater of war. And then you got strategy, all right? And strategy is an umbrella that encompasses all of that, all right? So that's everything from propaganda, information, diplomacy, political leverage, economic threats, economic leverage, social programs, and winning the hearts and minds, things of that nature, and also warfare, right? Tactics as well, and operational tactics. So I think what you see with Grandmaster Jay is just strategy. But he can't say I'm coming and not coming. Now, we are the slaves to our words and the masters of our silence. So it's prudent not to say specifically what you're going to do, okay? Even if you're speaking in a metaphorical way, because now you're putting expectations on you, right? But what is a militia? Because in the last one you said, if there's guerrilla warfare popping off, this, that, and the third. I don't think that would be guerrilla warfare. I think that would be private militia factional warfare. Guerrilla warfare is hit and run. Guerrilla warfare is Micah Johnson down in Houston. Okay, that's guerrilla warfare. That's only one dude out there. Okay, guerrilla warfare is crashing the grandma on the coast of Cuba and then going through the countryside and taking over the country. All right, Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. That's guerrilla warfare.
Okay.
Antifa could be considered guerrilla warfare. They fly people in. They're mobile. They're all masked up. They're fast. They're quick. They hit and run. They leave. Guerrilla warfare, hit and run tactic. Right. If you got two paramilitary units, that's old school, regular war tactics right there. You got your lines, that's like freaking War of 1812 or something, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that people want these instant results. They want to put their noodles in a microwave and pull them out in 3 minutes, eat them. I'm satiated, right? That's not what Grandmaster Jay is doing. Grandmaster Jay is doing this.
He's playing chess, not checkers, as he always says.
Whatever you want to call it. I like to say he's playing Go. You know what the game of Go is? It's an encirclement. Yeah. But he says he wants to leave America and start a black nation, right? I don't understand why the hell do you white nationalists have a fucking problem with that? You're always saying if you don't like it here, you can leave. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He's like, look, let's go, let's leave. Let's go get our own country, our own stuff. Let's be self-sufficient. Let's police our own neighborhoods. They're literally saying they're going to do all the things you want to tell black people to do. So what is your problem? Shit, you should be helping them. You don't pay a woman to stay. You pay a woman to go away, right? I mean, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me why we can't just freaking come to some kind of damn level-headed agreement. There's no nuance anymore. There's no thinking. There's no critical thought anymore. It's just a bunch of memes on a scroll down, and no one has the time to even listen to all the facts. I mean, this dude came here with all these people. Grandmaster Jay said he was going to be down there at Churchill Downs at 4:30, and he goes to freaking, he goes to City Hall. He goes to City Hall at 2 o'clock or whatever. What are you talking about? All you had to do, everyone knew where he was going. It wasn't some secret. It wasn't, you didn't have to send some covert ops out to gather intelligence and bring it back to you. Just watch his damn video. And I know they watch his video because they talk about everything he says. So when he said we came here thinking NFAC was going to be here and we had no idea, I swear to God, we had no idea you're going to be here. Bullshit. That's crazy. But to all you militia groups out there, Kentucky, we're good. We're cool here. All right. We don't need you. We got this handled. 60 unarmed protesters and then a few armed protesters out there. But they got rid of y'all. You had to go. You got there popping smoke so you could exfil. All right. Miss Rosie with the bullhorn that was more powerful than all your guns combined. So, and stay going, man. We don't need you out here, man.
That was my next question. What's next for Louisville? It seems like the focus is going to be off of Louisville for a while. And Grandmaster Jay kind of put himself in a box, as you said, by saying they were coming back to Louisville. He didn't say they would be back to Louisville again this time. And I doubt if the Angry Viking has any desire to come back to Louisville. And I'm hoping people watching do want to go to Louisville because it's a beautiful city and it's full of great people.
Yeah, it's good people here, good, humble, honest folks, very earnest, coming from the city, moving down here to law school, it was a little bit of a learning curve to get used to people, people were like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, why are you talking to me, man? Oh, no.
Dave's from Philadelphia, in case you haven't garnered that from the accent, and not originally from Louisville. And yeah, I was in Philly for the Democratic National Convention in 2016. I was a Bernie Sanders delegate. And we were out there on the streets chanting, this is what democracy looked like before the Democratic Party screwed us all.
You're going to burn it
And
down?
I'd walk in to get a sandwich or something. I'd say, hey, how you doing? Hello. And they, people look at you like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah, I don't know you, man. I'm fine. But, you get used to it there. You kind of like it, So we're good here, I think what you're going to see next, and again, I want to go back to the strategy here. It's not tactics, it's strategy. Even if, let's say, you could say Grandmaster Jay boxed himself in, and the locals here are mad because he didn't come up to the square and get their back, right?
Right, they are.
They're saying, you say you're going to be out here to protect black people, and why weren't you out here protecting us out here, right? But it's a freaking, he's not a state militia. As soon as one person goes out there and does something wrong, he's going to get charged with that. And also people are going to get hurt outside of the legal realm. So it's probably best that he didn't come down there. Okay, if you really want to think about it. I mean, do you agree or am I tripping here?
No, I agree. If Antifa or if NFAC would have showed up at the square, it would have been, it probably would have been a shooting match. Probably.
It was definitely, the probability was raised.
It escalates without a doubt. That's a given.
Moderate with our language here and say there's a higher probability that a shot would have been fired in anger, right? But potentially not, because like I said, I think these people know in their mind they're not militia members. So anything you do, you're going to be charged under the criminal code of the state. And if you get charged with that felony with a body armor on, hey, give me a call. Either side.
Yeah.
As long as you got the shit, that's going to be like the $25,000 defense fund right there. So, hey, get on your Kickstarter or whatever it is, your GoFundMe. But again, it's strategy with Jay. He's just, remember, he
right.
just started. This is new. Okay, he's figuring it out as he goes. He's saying some things that are, it gets attention. People are stimulated by it. And he's got a huge following of people, so, and you got a bunch of detractors out there, but 48 Laws of Power says court attention at all costs, right? And speak, be divine, be mysterious, all these things are a power play. And what he's trying to do is build something where there's enough numbers so he can start a black nation, which I support. And white people, you should support it too. Why would you not support people who are telling you that they're oppressed and they feel oppressed? And then your response to that is a defense mechanism in your mind to say, no, you're not. You got it better over here than anyone. You don't know what it's like. Shut up. If they're telling you they're oppressed, say, yo, what can we do to fix the problem? Right? And if they say something like reparations, I have no problem with reparations personally. I think that, institution of slavery built this country, and black people couldn't even vote until 1964, right? So I think reparations would be just. You could help them build wealth. You could help them, you make amends for your past sins, right? I mean, black people could not vote 60 years ago, 56 years ago, right? Obviously, there's, and even when they were allowed to vote, there was a ton of pushback against that, and with all deliberate speed is what they said in freaking Board versus Brown. So it wasn't like, let's get doing this now. And then you had, and here in Louisville, you had the busing riots out in Valley Station with all the rednecks and the General Lees burning shit down and trying to beat people up because they didn't want black people in their school. So what do we? What? So I have no problem with reparations. I would rather spend my tax dollars go to reparations and making an oppressed community in this country whole and strong again, because that makes all of us strong. I don't understand why people can't get that.
Yeah.
If there's a bad link in the chain, you want to stop black on black crime, you're so worried about Chicago white boy. Well, guess what? If there was less poverty, there'd be less fucking crime. And there'd be less police shootings. And there'd be less looting and rioting in your favorite freaking store in 3 other states away getting burned down. You know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't have to go out there with your AR. It's just like, that's not how white people think. White people are defensive. They think, you know, I didn't have a bunch of help growing up. You know, I didn't get a silver spoon. Yeah, but as a whole, maybe not you, but as a whole, white people did. You know, but that's another conversation for another time. It's just, I just don't think that we need to have all of this racial tension. And I don't think it's the black people's fault. I think it's the white people's fault. It's always been. We're the boot on the neck. And so until we can have these conversations with one another, and not just on some, you know, let's paint Black Lives Matter on the street, or let's name that street over there Martin Luther King or something. We start to talk about real tangible avenues to getting something done. And if reparations is too high of a negotiating point, damn, I mean, you've negotiated stuff. You went out and bought a car before. You bought a house. Did you say, oh yeah, I'll pay whatever you're asking? No, you say, give me less. And then you meet somewhere in the middle. But we can't even have these conversations because it immediately turns to, I got mine on my own. You should get yours on your own. I don't see color, which immediately eliminates the experience of being black and everything that anybody black has ever been through their generations before them. So if you say I'm colorblind and I don't see race, then you don't see any of the oppression that other races have faced in this country ever. So there can never be a dialogue once you say bootstrap yourself up when you're wearing flip-flops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And 85 million, if 85 million Americans have a problem, it's America's problem. And 85 million Americans have a problem. And
racism is a curse on this country. It's you know, you just can't get away from it. It's a smoldering fire, like I said last time. That's just, you know, it hits the right canister and explodes. And that's why this keeps happening. This keeps happening.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Louisiana next, I have a feeling.
Rochester, New York, when they put the bag over the naked dude's head, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all the money goes to cops. Take some of that money, give some money back to the black community, let them build themselves back up from all the years of oppression. And if you say that it's their fault, that's inherently racist, because now you're saying if it's all their fault, it's not our fault, it's their fault. That's inherently racist because that's white supremacist thinking that black people are inherently unable to earn, inherently lazy, inherently criminal. You can't look at the numbers and how skewed they are and think that there's not some systematic oppression. All you have to do is Google fucking Jim Crow, Google slave trade, Google Plessy versus Ferguson, Google with all deliberate speed. You know, it's right there in front of your face, and nobody wants to address it or talk about it because it makes white people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
I lost a bunch of old friends the first time I said Black Lives Matter, because they do. And I lost a whole bunch of old friends when I said not all Republicans are Nazis, but all Nazis are Republican. And I've gained a whole bunch of new friends, thankfully. But I want to end with this, and I've been thinking about doing this for a while. I wanted to talk with you because you're an attorney, and I wanted to do this so that there would be a record of it. I'm thinking about starting an organization called Whites Against Racism, WAR, real simple. And the mission statement would be an ideological war against monolithic thinking and dehumanizing communities of color.
Okay. All right. Well, I do criminal law and civil law, so I'm not really into. I guess that would be nonprofit law. You trying to organize a nonprofit?
Probably, yeah. But I'm asking for your opinion. And I've asked one other person, and the first thing they said was, "Well, you're automatically racist because you're calling it whites." And I said, Well, you know, you don't have to be black to be in the NAACP. I mean, you wouldn't have to be white to be in this group. And calling it people against racism would be par, and that doesn't have quite the ring as war when you're wanting to.
It's called whites against racist. So how can that be racist? It's literally running with what the Panther said, what Bobby Steele said in the movie Panther. You know, go talk to your cracker ass mama. You know what I mean? Go form your own white Panthers, and if you want to help us, go talk to your cracker ass mama. So, you know, that's what it is. I don't know if that's what he said. That's what my mind is recalling from that movie.
Yeah, it was paraphrasing close enough to what he said.
But even if people are saying it's racist, good, because, you know, like I said, court attention at all costs. You know, so if you got a bunch of all lives matter folks and colorblind racist folks saying, oh, well, it's racist. You know, it's the same argument with BET. You know, why isn't there white entertainment television? Because he's got ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS, man. What are you talking about? MTV was white as hell when it first started. So, I mean, I say go for it, dude. I'm not a dream crusher. I think that if that's something you want to do and that gives you purpose, and I would like to be a member as well.
All right, thank you.
If you want any help setting it up, I could swing you over to
yes,
Lanita Davis. You know, she's
get me in touch with somebody that I can talk with about it. We'll see what happens.
Just type up some kind of plan or something. though. I don't want to.
Okay.
Like,
all right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you coming on always. We'll talk again real soon. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, brother. Peace.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. It's the American Doofus Show. That was Dave Lackford again. If you ever get in trouble in Louisville, call Dave. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. There you go. Right there's the card. Get you a screenshot of that.
502-309-9658. 502-309-9658.
There you go. And hey, tell Maxwell, tell Jason, tell all the live streamers, tell anybody you see down there. I love them. I can't wait to get back to Louisville. And it's the American Doofus Show. I love all of you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Peace.
Don't be a doofus.